called in
to Box and Brews, you might hear something
you can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use
smarts of these
because
stuff.
they know the brews.
And they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, because shit's not funny.
And save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Bucks.
and brews.
brews.
Bucks and Brews.
Welcome back to Bucks and Brews. Nick, we skipped last week because you suck.
Yeah, it's me. It's not Michigan weather.
God, it's fucking shitty here. It's raining in my house right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, because there's so much ice on the top of the
gotcha.
roof that it's raining in my
I
room.
was like, man, I just drove
So
basically
pissed.
by there.
So fucking pissed. What are you drinking?
City of Byron Center tap water
Glass.
out of my awesome Bucks and Brews. Currently one of one.
Yeah, mine's in the other room because I'm drinking out of my Tipsy Robot
What are you drinking?
thing. I'm drinking bottled water. I'm hoity toity like
Rich
that.
and fancy bougie.
A little bit. So we have a guest tonight. Before we get to our guest, what do you always say?
As always, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. We appreciate you guys listening.
I'm also going to mention if anybody needs any fucking ice whistles, I'm printing these shit ton of these. So let us know.
Looks like glow in the dark.
That one is glow in the dark.
Yeah.
It's loud as fuck too. For all those that hate ice. Hey Shagster, how you doing? So we're joined tonight by a former classmate of mine, Rachel Brougham. She used to write for the Petoskey Times. She was also their editor, I believe. She still does some freelance writing. Rachel, please tell us about yourself and if you're drinking anything.
Hey guys, I am drinking water with electrolytes. Stay hydrated. So I grew up in Playing Well with David, and then I went to college, and then I moved to Northern Michigan where I worked in news. I worked for a CBS station as a producer, and then I was a newspaper editor in Petoskey. And then I moved to Minneapolis in 2015 for my husband Colin's job. I've been freelancing full time since 2017, and I still have a syndicated newspaper column that's run by Gannett, which is like USA Today. So like USA Today paper. It doesn't run in USA Today, but like USA Today owned papers. So that's what I do. So I live in South Minneapolis. I live about, I would say 10 minutes from where Renee Good was killed. 10 minutes from where Renee was killed, and then about probably 15 minutes from where Alex Preddy was killed this past weekend. So, yeah.
I was a short tangent time. Her husband, Colin, who, God rest his soul, he's no longer with us. I say that, but I'm fucking atheist, but you know. We would have been friends with him.
Yep.
Loved craft beer.
Oh,
Yeah. He was a brewer. He was actually killed in a cycling accident here in 2018 in South Minneapolis. So
sorry
Yeah.
to hear that.
yeah, but my son and I have been through some shit here in South Minneapolis since we moved here just over 10 years ago.
Yeah, that sounds like, I mean, and the world's getting great right now for you guys.
Yeah. It's funny. I was joking with someone the other day. I was like, when we decided we were moving here in 2015, I was like, oh man, we're just going to move to this like quiet, nice little friendly blue state. And then
Yeah.
who knew? Who knew?
That's crazy. So, all right, journaling. We used one of your Facebook posts. David read it word for word because that's how you have to share the news, is exact quotes. So, when you're doing your normal job, right?
Mhm.
Freelancing, you can talk about anything. Tell me about how you get your information, where it comes from, and how you report it.
Yeah, so I think my experience as a freelancer currently is a little different than like just a regular reporter. I mean, because I'm a columnist, so I'm writing opinion pieces. And so I'm not just writing about news, I'm writing everyday stuff. So a lot of my stuff is based on everything is based on my experiences, right? So last week I had a piece that was about all the things that have happened with Renee Good. And I mean, obviously it published on the same day that Alex Preddy was died, so it was before that happened. And it just proposed questions to people whether they were okay with situations that were unfolding in Minneapolis or not. And I think the way that I look at it, I'm not necessarily trying to persuade people one way or the other, but I want them to think about what's happening and give it actual thought. I'm not trying to rage bait people. I'm not trying to get people into debating necessarily like my way's right, your way's wrong. That's going to happen, but people need to like sit back and digest what's happening because things are really messed up. Um, and so that is how I've looked at like at least that last week's column. I write a wide variety of things. Like next week, it's about my son turning 17. So like everything's a little bit different, but everything is based on facts that can be backed up with statistics and examples, and then my experience. So it's a little different than being a reporter because as a reporter, I was just, these are the facts, not my opinion. So, yeah.
So, you're in the thick of it. I guess I would like to hear as a person who's literally, you said 10 minutes from one spot, 15 from the other. Tell me what's going on there. Let everybody else know what you were seeing, if you don't mind.
Yeah, I think that's one thing. I want to be clear that like it's bad here and it is affecting everybody's daily life. Now, with that said, I have personally not witnessed people getting yanked out of their cars, right? Like that's not happening on every single street corner every minute of the day, but that is happening all over the city every day, multiple times. But I'm not driving around looking for that, right? What most people are experiencing, and I'm just going to give you some examples. Everybody I know carries around a whistle, not just to protect their neighbors and their community members if they see something happening, but to protect themselves. I walk the dog at 5:30 in the morning, and if I have a bunch of ICE agents roll up on me with masks on, hell yeah, I'm going to blow that whistle because my neighbors are going to come out of their houses and help me. And we've already had yeah, I mean, we've had examples of people out for walks or going for a run or walking the dog and being approached by people who are in masks. That's just weird. Every day if I'm out running errands, I'm seeing like the other day, on Monday, for example, I was driving 10 minutes across town, and while I was on the phone with a family member, and I said, "Hey, I got 10 minutes to talk to you." So I was on the phone in the car, hands-free, don't worry about that. But and I counted like 4 times where I saw like groups of ICE agents in their cars on that stretch, just a 10-minute stretch. I mean, they weren't really doing anything. They're just like, but they're there.
Milking all of the money that we pay them. Yeah, of course.
Right. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Are they waiting for someone brown to come up around? I don't know. Like, I don't know what they're doing. Every day you drive around and you see just some random guy on a street corner with a sign that says ice out or get out of Minnesota or something. There's a 70-year-old man who stands at this major intersection kind of by my house. I've seen him a few times, like around lunchtime, and he just stands there with a sign all day. And and you want to like honk at them and like give them the thumbs up, but you also don't want to honk because honking is now used to draw attention to like trouble. So it's like you roll down your window and you're like, "Thank you," and you give them the thumbs up because you don't want to honk and draw attention to it. Like my son goes to Roosevelt High School, which is where the agent showed up the day that Renee was killed and did like whatever they sprayed on the school grounds and tackled staff members. And, every school in Minneapolis now has parents and even people without kids who are going there in the morning and in the afternoon at dismissal to make sure that kids and parents get to where they need to go. Like they're forming this like circle around the school to make sure kids get to where they go. And it's weird. It's weird. Like my son and I are as white can be. I mean, you can see that. And we carry
You
around
look Minnesotan.
like yeah, like my family's from Finland. Like we're white.
White.
White. And we carry around pictures of our passport on our phone.
You really?
Yeah. Because like you've seen them pull over white people. Like, and that's if they give you time to show them your identification, so.
Well, we obviously lead different lives here because, as a woman, Nick and we're big burly guys.
Yeah.
We could walk around at 5:30 in the morning. You more so than me because I'm brown and you're white.
Yeah.
And if somebody rolled up on us, I wouldn't really worry quite as much, but it's not like they identify themselves. You could go buy a Kevlar vest, throw it on, and you don't know whether it's a rapist that's, has bad intentions or an ICE officer who also has bad intentions or a cop. I mean, you just don't know.
Right. I mean, and as a woman, I mean, I'm 5'9", but still, like, as a woman, I've been told my whole life, like, you run from someone in a mask, right? And then, so that's why I think you hear these stories of like these women who are like, well, hell no, I'm not gonna. If I was Renee Good, there's no way in hell I would have opened my car door for that. I don't know who you are. Like, I don't know. Yeah,
Sorry, I'm gonna have a million questions and
yeah,
so you have ICE agents, which that's a federal agency.
yeah.
Local police. As or police getting involved, how is that looking?
Yeah.
You walk me through a little bit of
Yeah. So Minneapolis is a sanctuary city, and I think a lot of people don't understand what that means. It doesn't mean, which I think a lot of people misconstrue, is that it does not mean that because you're here illegally that we turn a blind eye if you commit a crime. That's not what that means. Let's go back a few years and talk about George Floyd. And even before George Floyd, Minneapolis Police Department had had a number of cases where a police officer shot and killed someone. So we had a powder keg here in Minneapolis leading up to that. And then George Floyd happened. And that was the nail in the coffin for police brutality in Minneapolis. Since then, we have a new police chief. We've had so much turnover in the MPD and new restrictions, new regulations, new rules. And they have had to build back that trust. And part of being a sanctuary city means that no matter who you are, no matter what your immigration status is, you can call 911 if you need help, if you see a crime, if you're a victim of a crime, and police will come and help you, and they are not going to ask to see your papers because they need to build that trust, right? So that's what it means here to be a sanctuary city, right? If you commit a crime as an illegal, if you're here illegally, I hate that word, but if you are not documented and you're here, yes, you are going to go to jail. So let's be clear about what that means. So when it comes to ICE and Border Patrol, the NPD has said, we are not going to do your job for you. You are the federal agents. You're enforcing the federal law, which is immigration. We have a job to do here, which is solving crime, like preventing murders, like robberies, theft, whatever it is. That's our job, and we already are short-staffed, right? MPD has said, hey, if you have a target that you're going to conduct an immigration raid on, we will help you in the capacity that we will do crowd control, we will do that, but you have to give us a heads up. And so far, I mean, our police chief has said that that has not happened. Like that communication has not been there. So when DHS is saying, hey, we're not getting help from the Minneapolis Police Department is saying, you're not telling us when you need help with anything. And also, why are they relying on Minneapolis Police Department to do their job when the Minneapolis Police Department has their own job to do? So that's the experience here.
Is Minneapolis a hotbed for drug lords and rapists?
No.
Because a lot of people are like, well, it just must be overrun with crime. And as somebody that comes from Chicago and they say that shit about my city all the fucking time, I can't imagine Minneapolis is this hotbed.
We're a bunch of white Scandinavian Lutherans. No.
So if you told me they were knocking over all the bars and taking the pull tabs, I'd probably agree this is fucking happening.
Yeah,
Right?
That's what you would do.
Like that, yep.
we
probably.
like pull tabs and meat raffles, which I had never heard of until I moved here.
Yeah.
I thought a meat raffle was like a dating thing. I didn't know what that was. But it's not. It's actually what it actually sounds like. No, we are not violent people.
Can
No.
we tangent time for a second?
Absolutely.
Did you get the hot dog festival thing I sent you for Chicago?
Did I get it? You're going to tell me yes. I
I sent it today.
Oh,
You and I need to go look
Okay.
into that
okay.
because hot dogs.
You know me, I'm all about
That's what I'm saying. Sorry, let's get back to more important shit.
So the police aren't helping helping you guys to not trouble or whatever, not just to stay safe. So
So like police are showing up when there's an incident. So like police will show up after, Alex Preddy was shot and try to do crowd control. But police are like, hey, if you have a target that you're going to do this raid, give us a heads up and we will help you do crowd control there. But that's not happening. That communication's not there.
so I'm actually just going to Chicago. What to Chicago? It's just local to me. It's pretty close. Now when I took a big stance, and I mean there were so many more Mexican flags that I could people up to flying them up. It's fun. Are you seeing that in your area?
Like you're breaking up a little bit, like more like more other flags from other countries.
Well, I say it's in Chicago, it's predominantly Mexican flags.
Oh,
Predominantly, these people are like, yeah, no, we're just gonna fly this, whether it's to support. I didn't ask people, right? I mean, it's one thing that you just kind of notice, right? Like, I live in Southwest Michigan. You see one here and there, or like somebody will have a Puerto Rican little sticker or something. But like this in Chicago, there's a massive amount of people that out here, right? We're gonna do this. So
Yeah,
I think you're not really seeing too much. I mean, still no. So
no, I mean, like other countries, no, I don't see that a lot. I mean, you see a lot of sports flags. I mean, I guess it's funny if I'm trying to pick out if I see in other countries' flags, it's always like Norway or Sweden or something. Like,
I just didn't know if people were
no,
hoarding, or
not really.
Now, you have a governor who ran for vice president named
Yeah.
Tim Walz. Tim seems like a decent guy. So I guess could you walk me through? Do you know much about it? How is your government there handling this?
I don't know. I mean, I think I wish they did more. I think Walls has done a decent job of, he's been in contact with the White House. I mean, what else more? I mean, I don't know what else you'd want from him. He did call up the National Guard. So as of this past Saturday, they've been at the Whipple building, which I don't know if you guys have seen stuff there on the news. That's like 10 minutes south of where I live. It's by the airport. It's like a federal building. It's where you never heard about it. I had no idea it was called the Whipple Building, but it's where ICE is kind of headquartered right now. And that's where they're taking all the detainees so that you have protests there every day. So I know like that like the National Guard was there over the weekend and they are kind of providing like this buffer zone where they are actually here to protect the protesters and make sure the protesters can protest safely, which is messed up, right? Like the National Guard is providing a buffer so the protesters can protest safely. And they were handing out donuts and coffee to the protesters over the weekend. Like that's weird. And they are wearing like reflective vests so people know that they're guard and not
Their guard, yeah.
someone else. I think Walls is doing an okay job. Everybody from outside of Minnesota keeps texting me and be like, "Oh my God, I love your mayor. I love Jacob Fry." Meh. He puts on a really good show when he gets on national television. He's been the mayor since 2018. I think he was elected in. I guess he has some strong words sometimes, but he doesn't always back it up with action. So there's, we just had another election like last fall. Yeah, just recently. God, my concept of time is all messed up. Yeah, so
Ever since
back in
COVID.
November, we just he was just reelected for like the third time, and it was actually really close between him and a Somali guy, which can you imagine right now if that
Oh, they would have lost their shit. Yeah.
lost their shit? But Minneapolis has a unique voting system. It's called ranked choice voting. I don't know if you guys are familiar.
Yeah, we've talked about that.
We're trying to get that here. We're gonna have
So-
Joe on too to talk about it.
So it's hard, I think, when you have an incumbent like the mayor we have, Jacob, to get him voted out. So whatever. We tried the last couple cycles, but he just keeps getting elected. And he's kind of moderate, to be honest. Like he is not this like hardcore progressive. Like he's not really far left. He's very moderate, but he just uses some strong language when he gets on national TV and people love him. But
Well, you know, because everybody in power never uses that language, and it's
yeah. And you know, like
nice, so.
we have our US senators, Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith. Tina Smith is not running for re-election. I think she's had some strong words, but I don't know what else she's done. Amy Klobuchar is now going to run for governor. She'll be our next governor because there's no way there's no way a Republican's going to beat her. I had some strong words for Amy last week when she was posting on her social media that she was out different parts of the state, promoting Hockey Day in Minnesota. I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why is this a priority right now when you have people being gassed in the street and kidnapped and deported when they are here legally? But, so I feel like our lawmakers can definitely do more. I think the city council members have done a hell of a lot more than the people on the national stage have. So, and they're the ones that are out getting tear gassed, the city council members. So,
Well, the problem is, I mean, we have a lot of politicians that don't actually take their job seriously and just kind of do the shit they want to do.
Oh, it's a good paying job to not do anything, and it takes you 4 years to get fired.
Well, 100%. Well, 2 years if you're in the house,
Right.
But still, I mean, they're supposed to work for us, but they seem to forget that a lot, and we're not holding them to task on any of it.
Right.
I mean, you and I have maybe one of the worst U.S. representatives currently. Motherfucker, no shit.
And he won't meet with people.
And he will not meet with anybody.
Yeah. It's crazy to me, the higher up the government. It's surprising how much Tim Walz is actually doing for how high up he is, and sure, there's one thing about talking about it, and there's one thing about taking
Mhm.
your protect, right? I don't know about everything that's going on. I don't live the day to day like you do. My next couple questions. So, uh, Minnesota is known to be predominantly Caucasian.
Mhm.
But so you have illegals that are supposedly there. You also have African American. You have Asians. You have white people, just like everyone else. In the protest, I mean, are you seeing that every culture is showing up to help protest, or are you? I mean, what does it look like? And that kind of leads into the next, like, are Hispanics and people of color, like, are they hiding? Are they, kind of walk me through what that looks like.
Yeah, I think predominant. I mean, yeah, I mean, you're seeing everybody show up in some capacity. It might not be out with a sign or a whistle, but everybody is doing something. Um, I will say that and I am just seeing what I see. A lot of Latino and Somali, and we have a large Hmong population. Um, they're staying home because they're scared. I mean, if you watch the videos, who's getting dragged out of their cars and into and out of their houses, right? I'd be scared too. And, you
I mean,
know,
you're carrying.
right, like if I had brown skin, I wouldn't be out on the street carrying a sign and blowing a whistle, whether I'm here, whether I was an American citizen or not, because I'd be scared probably.
Oh,
So,
do you know of
but they're
any?
showing up in other ways. I mean, you know, I think so many people are we're just all hemorrhaging money because we're just donating to their the GoFundMe's and the fundraisers and that kind of stuff is just going on here are just absurd. Like my phone is blowing up right now because someone's sending a group text about another fundraiser to raise rent for families at one of the schools because they can't leave their home, so they can't go to work, so they can't pay rent. And so it's like every day you're throwing, 20, $30, whatever you can, or there's like, there's fundraiser like last Friday, it was like a bake sale for families at one of the schools. And like you go to the bake sale and you bring your stuff up to pay for it, and there's like, oh, it's $20, it's suggested donation, and you give them 60. And it's so people are doing that kind of stuff if they're not out blowing whistles and standing on the corner and doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I heard about the tamales. Did you hear about
I
that?
did not.
A group of white people, tamale bikers or something like that. They
Mm.
they went and they're buying up all of the tamales in the morning, and then they have a way to basically they started their own um man, what's that for? Like Uber Eats or whatever. Like, and then they're selling them to people, they're biking them to places so that way that family can still raise money. They stay in their house
Yeah.
and they're just going to do that. So
Yeah, and I mean like there's so many little things like there's like old people I'm like retirees, they're not going to go stand out in the cold, right? But what they're doing is they're getting in their car and they're picking up people who are scared to sit at the bus stop and they're taking them to work. Or they're volunteering to take their kid who they don't even know to school because these kids don't want to stand at the bus stop. Like so everybody's doing something or they're going to Costco. Like I was at Costco the other day and you can tell the people who are buying for like these supply drives because they have like 6 big packages of toilet paper or like, huge cases of, I don't know, like maxi pads or whatever it is, or diapers or whatever in their carts. And you're like, well, that, they're not going home with that for themselves. They're going to some church supply driver. Every business, every organization, every place has a supply drive going on. So everybody's doing something. They're not just all standing outside in the cold. I lost your audio. I can't hear you anymore.
Weird.
Oh, now I can.
Dawn said she was hearing you.
Sure, I'm plugged in.
Yeah, it's better now. It's better.
I mean, that's an answer.
As much as these things.
Wait, now I can't hear Nick.
What the fuck? We're having a lot of technical issues here.
Let me pull all this cord.
All right.
Right now?
Yes.
Hear me now? We're gonna
Yeah.
get sued by Verizon for that. Verizon.
We got Christy and Dawn both saying hear you too.
Hey, yeah, I back then I went into my tenants, told them if they show up, to tell them to call me. I will go there and tell them to get the fuck off my property.
Yep.
And I handed them, we handed them cards of things that they can do for help and stuff like
Yeah.
that. As a landlord, that's what I did. It's out there nationally. Have quite a few Hispanic tenants in my place. This, I'll definitely stand as things. I'm gonna get into some deeper stuff, and I don't even know if it's gonna, are you seeing, I want to say groups or let's call them gangs of things being formed, right? I mean, we anti-ice, anti-ice things where they're physical and they're violent towards ice. Are you seeing these types of groups becoming a thing? What is that word? Kind of like with the Black Panthers or the KKK. Well, their other stuff, but
What establishment?
yeah, I say. But are you seeing groups being formed for that?
No.
No. Okay.
I mean, personally, no.
So have you heard about? So there was my wife had sent me something. So there was I said the Black Panthers and the cartel were so pissed off they were putting a bounty on ICE agents for $10,000. Have you heard about
I
this?
saw that too, but I don't know if that's real.
Yeah. Okay.
I mean,
But it's not something that's
seems a
going
little-
around. It's not
that
something
seems
that's
a
going
little
around you
fetched.
guys they're knocking on your door saying, "Hey, I'll give you 10 grand to make this happen."
Yeah, they haven't come knocking on my door, so I have no idea, but that's true.
You had kind of mentioned businesses there, right? And everybody's kind of doing a drive and they're getting things. So break room therapy here, they've recently come and doubled and tripled and quadrupled down on fuck ice, right?
No bet.
So you guys have you're going for it. Businesses there. I watch the news and it's like, hey, there's a gas station that's turning them away. What was once a Hilton is no longer a Hilton because they're not allowed because they didn't allow ICE to be there. They went to the other Hilton and stayed. How is your community? It's the same. So the question goes along the line with, LGBT doesn't support Chick-fil-A. How are you seeing businesses if they're pro, if they're against? How are they being impacted? How are they affecting and
That's a good question. In a lot of ways. First of all, I don't I can't imagine in Minneapolis or St. Paul, they have ICE or Border Patrol agents have very many places where they are going to be welcome to eat anymore, besides fast food drive-through.
Sure.
I honestly don't know where they're going to be allowed. A lot of places have signs on their front window that say no ice allowed. A lot of places, especially if they're immigrant owned or they have a lot of immigrants working there, have their doors locked. Like they'll be open for business, but someone has to let you in. Um, I'll give you another example of what's happening, and this is widespread. I went to lunch like 2 weeks ago. I met up with a writer friend of mine who he and his wife live in the suburbs. They live about 30 minutes from here. And we met at a place, a very popular place in South Minneapolis, um, for brunch. And their whole kitchen staff, as most places are Latino, right? This is not a Mexican place. I mean, this is like breakfast sandwiches and like sandwiches, salads. But their kitchen staff, even though they're legal here or they're American citizens, are not coming to work because they're scared. So our server took our order, and then she had to go back to the kitchen and cook it herself. So they had a very limited menu. They had like instead of their full menu, they had like 3 breakfast items, 3 sandwiches, a salad, and a soup. That was it. Not a big deal. Like they're just trying to survive, right? Keep their doors open. So I ordered a breakfast sandwich, and it was supposed to come with greens, like just spring mix. When it came out, it had tots with it, and I don't
Nice. That's not
whatever.
great.
Like I'm not a huge, don't tell anybody else in Minnesota, but I'm not a huge tater tot fan, whatever.
Get the fuck out.
I know, like
You're gonna have to go farther west.
I know.
Also a Midwest thing.
I also don't like burners, and I don't know how to play euchre, so don't disown me from the Midwest. But
She also
Thanks so much.
she doesn't like Bob Seger either.
Thanks so
I
much
do
for
not like
joining
Bob
Bucks and
Seger.
Brews. It's been a great start. It's always
I know.
nice to hear about
Just
it.
disown me from the Midwest
You
right
don't
now.
like euchre?
I don't know how to play euchre. I do not like playing cards. No.
I've never played euchre.
Well, I didn't expect that. You're brown. Well,
I think
Like,
burners
what-
taste like what Band-Aids would taste like.
I don't
love
like burner. I
burners.
don't like ginger. It's weird. I like ginger on
Like
my
ginger
food and stuff like that. I love sushi ginger. I do not like drinking
I
ginger.
like ginger chicken.
Anyway, so
no,
it came
no,
out with
not anyway.
tots. Anyway, it came out with tots instead of spring mix. Did not complain. And then I bit into my breakfast sandwich, and I was like, well, that's weird. And like when you like the cheese, like when you get a cheese in the package and it's got that like waxy paper on it, it was
Yeah.
melted onto my sandwich. And again, not complaining, they're doing their best because she also took my order and then had to go back and cook it. So that is what's happening at restaurants. Like
You're
also
putting out no Michelin stars this year.
no Michelin stars.
Yeah.
And like I said, this is a very popular place where you have to make a reservation to have brunch.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. And also, like, good luck getting food delivered because DoorDash or like any of the delivery drivers, hell no, they're not working because they're gonna, let's be honest, they're all like people of color, most of them. They're getting yanked out of their cars or they're getting followed. I mean, did you guys see the video of the one woman, the DoorDash driver who ran into the house and was like, she got followed by ICE? So if you go to try to order food from like a DoorDash app, everything says pickup only. Like businesses are just trying to survive, man. Like nobody's going to them because they're scared to go out.
So, and you're welcome to tell me no. Your son, let's talk about this stuff. Your son is in the school. How
Mhm.
is he feeling? I know it's not going to be his words, but
Yeah.
tell me, because you have a son in school, how are kids feeling? How are things doing? I know parents are making the circle and people are groups.
Yeah. Um,
Student might look like.
yeah, so he's a junior in high school. Like I said, we're white, white. Um, his school is like 3 blocks away, and his school has been a hotbed for activity. There's just a lot of Somali and Latino kids at his school. Um, and so, Minneapolis a couple weeks, I think it was like right after Renee Good was killed. Yeah, because that was a Wednesday. And then they didn't have school Thursday, Friday because Border Patrol showed up at my son's school that same afternoon, pepper sprayed kids, tackled and arrested a teacher, and there was that whole commotion. So Minneapolis didn't have school Thursday and Friday. And then starting that Monday, they had an option of going online for remote learning or in person. So my son and, most of the white kids are going in person. But I think it depends on the ages for sure. And definitely every school is a little different, but a lot of those Somali kids and Latino kids are staying home, and I don't blame them. Um, I don't know. I don't think that there's still a lot of parents surrounding like my son's school, like at pickup. I mean, there are like just not like an elementary school situation.
Sure.
But there are places like, so high school kids in Minneapolis do not ride the school bus. They ride a city bus. They get a city bus pass and ride the city
Oh,
bus.
really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's elementary and middle school ride a school bus. And there's people who are purposely like following the school buses to make sure that ICE agents don't approach the school bus and, you know, grab a kid or grab a parent waiting at the bus stop for their kid. But my son, I think for the most part, he's just worried about his friends. He's worried about his friends who are more vulnerable than he is, staff members who are more vulnerable than he is. Um, and I'm tell you what, I mean, these kids are a hell of a lot more engaged and smarter than we ever were at their age. Like, they have more empathy and understanding of the world around them than we ever did growing up. So,
I gotta think. The only major life events we lived through in school would have been Challenger, maybe the World Trade Center bombing, the Oklahoma City bombing. I mean, I can't think of any more major events.
I mean, yeah, like the shuttle and Oklahoma City, we were still in high school.
You know?
Probably OJ. I
Yeah,
mean,
OJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean that was more June-ish, so we were getting out of school at that point.
yeah, it was June, but I mean, the trial was all going
Yeah,
on.
yeah, I don't know how high school dealt with the trial. I know that I got up out of a college class, I think it was logic, and walked down to the cafeteria at CC, and we watched the verdict.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and the teacher was like, "Where are all of you going?" And we're like, "We'll be back."
Now, you guys have lockdown drills and all that this was before them. Are they creating new drills? Are they doing anything for ICE stuff?
I can't answer that. They may, but
Okay.
I have not heard that.
Sure.
I mean, the district, I mean, Minneapolis Public Schools has been very forthcoming about their being very protective of their students and their staff, right? Um, but I don't know if they're creating any new like special lockout policies surrounding that. I don't know.
Um, so, uh, Alex was carrying a weapon with some magazines for ammo.
Is it illegal to carry a weapon?
Supporting his Second Amendment rights.
Is it illegal to carry extra magazines?
No,
Because I do both of those
It,
things.
it depends on where you are,
Yeah.
right? And
You can't do it at school.
correct. Well, I say you actually, so in the state of Michigan, you can open carry your pistol as long as you have your concealed carry permit.
In gun-free zones.
Correct.
Let's say I'm a CPL holder. I don't
Yeah.
know that.
So, yeah,
I just don't carry on school grounds.
it was a huge thing in Jenison because they were like, no, you have to open carry, but you have to have your CPL in order to do it. And it's ridiculous. Yeah, it's like blows my mind. Um, are you seeing more non-ice agents and are you seeing more people carrying weapons, things like that to try to protect themselves? Or are people just seriously trying to be non-violent
I think
until acted upon?
I I personally don't know if people are caring more. Because that's not something I notice, to be
Well,
honest.
Sure.
And
I have a
let's
Taurus
remember, like,
1911.
yeah, I mean, let's remember, I kind of live in a bubble. So like Minneapolis, St. Paul is like a very blue bubble. And I can't even answer how many people have a license to like conceal carry here. I have no idea.
Sure.
I have not seen a lot of people with guns. Um, I think the nonviolent part is a good way to look at it. I mean, they're throwing snowballs and blowing whistles.
Sure.
I mean,
Okay.
we're Minnesotans. We just like we fight back with snow and whistles and evidently slices of bologna.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Bro, I'm doing some baloney.
I didn't know that that was a thing that strips paint off of cars.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
So
things you don't know about. I'll teach you some things.
I believe some guys I played football with might have done that to Scott Cool's rusted out pickup truck, and he lost his shit. If I'm remembering the story correctly.
No idea.
Yeah, so, but I want to know your opinion of how you think you guys handle this, or we as a nation handle this, and what you see as an outcome.
You know, I was having this conversation with somebody actually that David and I went to high school with. I think someone I graduated with. She and I are on very different ends of the political spectrum. And she sent me a message and she was asking me some very good questions because she actually wanted to have a civil conversation. And I appreciated that because so often it's just like, and I told her, and one thing I said, and I think that this is important. The reason you're seeing the reaction that you're seeing in Minneapolis and St. Paul and Minnesota in general is because who we are. And what I mean by that is Minnesota, I think, is much more stereotypical Midwest than Michigan is.
I
And
agree.
I mean, I think, I lived the first like 36 years of my life in Michigan, and, I was like entrenched in Petoskey. I was a very big part of the community there. And I have never seen the kind of community engagement anywhere in Michigan that I've experienced here. Like Minnesota is always ranks up there in social engagement, community engagement, uh, percentage of people who vote. They just care about each other. And I think that that's why you're seeing the kind of response here that you are, is because you don't have to know your neighbor to care about your neighbor. And that's just ingrained in who the people of Minnesota are. And I don't know if that comes from the Scandinavian heritage, the Lutherans, like I think that's also a big part of like the Native American culture here, like Native Americans do stuff for each other like that. So that's all ingrained in the culture here. Giving, like volunteerism is huge. So that's, I think maybe I'm getting off a little bit on your tangent, but I think I'm kind of answering your question too, that's why you're seeing the kind of response you're seeing in Minnesota versus maybe what you saw in Los Angeles or Chicago, because people here are so much engaged. Like when my husband died, I had only lived here 2.5 years. I was not like entrenched in the community, and people showed up at my door who I didn't even know for like a year with like food, and they mowed my lawn or they shoveled the snow or people I didn't even know sent me cards and they're like, I don't know you, but I heard about your husband and I'm so sorry. I'm like, well, that's weird. And now in retrospect, that's not weird at all because that's just who the people are here. So when you hear people say we stand up for our neighbors, or you hear Tim Walz say that, it's true because that's just who Minnesota is. So it's funny when people are like, oh, well, the federal government came in and tried to fuck with Minnesota, but Minnesota's just going to fight back because Minnesota cares about every single person here. It doesn't matter who you are. Um, so I think that that's why the response has been what you've seen here versus what you may have seen in Chicago or Los Angeles. I'm curious what happens in Maine because I don't know what that culture is like in Maine. I don't know if it's like similar. I don't know. So I'm curious what's going to happen there. But I hope that that kind of answered your question.
Well, I guess I want to hear your opinion of how do we fix it?
I don't know how we fix it, to be honest. Everyone's like, oh, well, do you think that Kristi Noem should lose her job? I'm like, well, hell yeah, she should lose her job, but I'm not going to get excited about that because they're just going to put some other incompetent person, liar in there who's going to do the same job.
But it's the same thing I told it's like if Trump leaves, is couch fucker any better, right?
Right. It's like shitting your pants and changing your, you're not fixing the problem.
Right. And then
You
you
need
know,
a
and you had
whole-
George DeSantis coming up, and I was like, God, I didn't realize it could be worse.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, couch fucker I don't think he can command the people the way
No.
Cheeto McTacknugget does.
Right.
But the problem is he'd fuck as much shit up as possible because that's all these people are about is fucking shit up.
And I think that's a good point. Like you need this whole overhaul now
Mhm.
of DHS, right? I don't know. Like everyone's like, well, why didn't you complain when Obama, who we called deporter in chief, was doing record numbers of deportations? Because they weren't dragging people out of their houses and out of their cars and beating them on the street and spraying shit in their eyes, right? They had targets that they were going after, and it was like calculated. They were trained. And now I feel like they just got a bunch of Proud Boys out there with their guns
That's
playing
what they have.
Rambo. So
That's exactly what they have.
this is completely different. And
It's weird to me that people can't see like how different things are, right? People
Do they want to see? Because they don't want to see.
they don't want to see it. They just want to be right.
You know my former.
Yeah.
He's a fucking moron.
I agree. But you look at all versus kid's name.
Rittenhouse?
Yeah.
Shittenhouse? Yeah. He was 17, carried a gun that wasn't his across state fucking lines, and ran around and shot people because they came at him with a fucking skateboard.
Right. And then
right, not even a gun he bought. Not even
No.
Right. And then people are comparing it to this Alex who had his holstered, was protest. It just blows my mind how you do not see the difference.
Can I say don't holster your gun in your fucking back?
You can.
I mean, you can, but you shouldn't.
So it's concealed carry, they can do whatever.
I mean, they can, but I don't think
Right.
if you're going to conceal carry, it should be behind you.
Right.
It should be easy or accessible.
Well, and this guy, so if I'm not right, he's the number 2 fastest quick draw out there, which we didn't find that out until after he's dead, right? Like, it just blows my mind the fact that I don't see 17-year-olds who illegally can't own a gun.
Yeah.
I feel like Democrats and Republicans are moving themselves so far away. I loved the fact that you came out and said, hey, this other person who thinks politically completely different is actually open to a conversation. You're not trying to change their mind into a different way. They're not trying to change. You're just trying to have a conversation to say, hey, this is how I see it, right? Like,
Mhm. Yeah, we need more of that.
caring place for the crowd. Like literally love your neighbor and not what they are, right?
Yeah.
Bob's wife has surgery. you go shovel Bob's driveway. I mean, that's just how
Yeah.
it is. So,
Yeah.
you know, excuse me. You know, I'd love to try to follow up. Hopefully things kind of go away for you guys and things go back to normal life and you don't have to deal with this very long. It's not like it's gonna be
Yeah. Sounds good.
with camp. You know,
Let me ask you this. This is my fault. So, off being government. Shot that man dead.
Yeah.
That was not self-defense. That was a fucking murder. We watched murder.
twice.
And they're okay with that shit.
If you could excuse, and if you could excuse and you could somehow say she was trying to, Renee was trying to run him over. If I give you that, if I come to your side, literally all of the videos I've seen from this man who wasn't carrying, wasn't doing anything, was shot. Like he was down on the ground, apprehend, and still shot.
Well, they said that he was going for his gun, which he obviously never was. He only had his phone in his hand.
Right.
They're just trying to justify murder.
What kind of agent, first of all, holds his fucking cell phone and tries to record video and holds his gun in the other hand and shoots somebody?
Right.
What kind of agent walks in front of a fucking moving car?
Well, that's the other point. Every police officer you talk to says you never, ever do that.
Right. Yes.
And how fast was she going? Even if she had hit him, wasn't gonna do anything.
You've seen worse than that in the Plainwell High School parking lot.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Say, man, you move from like, if people don't even know Plainwell compared to literally where you moved. It's like you said, I'm gonna take white and go whiter. I don't know how you did it. Like, I'm still disappointed in the fact that you don't play euchre. Like,
Hey, I have not lived in Plainwell since 1996, but I mean, Plainwell never leaves you. So
we'll ship you some ice cream at some point.
We had 2 black kids in school.
Yeah,
that was it.
Right.
And they were brother and
was,
sister, and they were brother and sister.
Family.
I was darker than most of the people in school, and I'm white passing.
Right.
Yeah, I always thought you were Mexican or something.
See? That's what I always fucking get.
We all know he's Mexican.
I always get Mexican. I'm Persian. I'm not Mexican. Fuck you.
Hey, when you grow up in Plainwell, you don't know.
No, and nobody ever asked, so it wasn't a big deal to me.
And you, of anything that you act, it's definitely not any type of Persian that would be, right?
Oh no. My hair is not slicked back what little bit I have left.
Right.
I don't have a big beard. I can't grow a mustache. I used to wear jewelry. I don't wear jewelry anymore. There are no Persian stereotypes I'm hitting on.
Right. I know.
I don't fucking speak Farsi. There's nothing.
So, yes, I mean, we'd love to continue to follow up, and keep us, if another catastrophic things happens, I'd love to have you back on if you're okay with it. As long as we can get our mics working and our audio done.
I blame Nick.
So, any other questions, David?
I don't. It was nice catching up with you, Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm sorry it's under these circumstances.
Yeah, no problem. Happy to help.
Thank you so much.
What do you always say?
As always, guys, like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. If you enjoy these types of episodes, please let us know. I will suck it up and keep doing more of them.
Yeah, Nick just wants to talk money and beer.
But I also, these things affect me, and it affects me more than I ever in my life
thought it would.
Right? I don't know if you call it maturity. I don't know what we do, but it is never a realm of life that I thought I would be in.
I was fairly conservative. The older I get, the more left I get.
Oh, buddy, I don't know how much older you can get.
Well, I mean, I'm not dead yet, so.
So, Rachel, stick around for a couple seconds, and we'll get you out of here.
Sounds good.
All right,
Thanks.
For those of you that have joined us, we're going to be back on in, I don't know, about 10 minutes with episode number 2. We're going to talk about Social Security and retirement.
Yeah.
Actually get back to what Bucks and Brews is normally about.
You've dialed in.
To Box and Brews, you might hear something
You can use.
like tips on your cash or tips on the suds.
You're gonna want to
The
use.
smarts of these stuff.
Cause they know the
And
brews.
they know the box, and they know they can't help the stubborn fucks.
So listen up, cause shit's not funny.
Save yourself some
Beer money. Bucks.
and brews.
Bucks and
Bucks
Brews.
and brews.
Bucks and Brews.